We're back, people, and today we're breaking down film on Bradley Chubb, Miami Dolphins edge defender, and he was traded to the team this past season, midway through the year for a first-round pick. While I don't think he's lived up to the first-round billing yet, I do think he got, a lot of flack on this team, but I think he actually played pretty well overall, pretty good as a run defender, pretty good as a pass rusher. His pressure rate was really high, which people really look at sacks a lot, but if you know how it works, pressure rate actually is a much better indicator of leading to future sacks, not sacks at all, because a lot of times sacks come, you're like the cleanup guy, that's not going to be a good indicator of future sacks. He was consistently creating pressure, and he faced a lot of double teams on the Miami Dolphins. And one of the biggest things is he really helped Jalen Phillips evolve into, he went from a good player to damn near elite when Bradley Chubb joined the team, and that was hugely important for their success. And I think Bradley Chubb is a big X factor this next season for the team because they have a lot of talent in this secondary. They're going to get a little bit extra time to rush the passer, and he's been so close to getting so many sacks for this team. And I think Jalen Phillips will get more attention, and I think if he takes his play to the next level, especially under Fangio again, where he had some of his best seasons of his career, I think, this defense could go. I think they're really good right now, but if Chubb plays at a very high level, they could be one of the best defenses in the NFL. Break down this sack, and one thing to note in this game is he played only 28 snaps because the final 2 games of the season he played on a hurt ankle and with a broken hand. So that's pretty important to show here. He was playing injured, warrior status out there on the field, and this is his final snap of the game. This was the strip sack that gave the Dolphins offense a chance back on the field. It's 3rd and 11. He wins to the outside. He's not the biggest speed rusher, bendy guy, but this is how he really wins. He gets low with his leverage, and he just attacks that outside hand and stays really tight, and once he beats that, he corners around. Really good job dipping underneath. He knows how to use his hands. He's a very technical edge rusher. He's not the most explosive. He's a good straight line explosive guy when it comes to changing direction, bending. It's not his strength, but overall he knows how to rush the passer, and then great feel to just get the strip sack. And this could have been a game saving play because they don't recover, but it ends up getting it into a 4th down situation with 5 minutes left in the game, and gave the Dolphins offense a chance to win in the playoffs. So he made some big time plays for this team, and I expect even more in the future under Vic Fangio. I think this is a good play to show how things kind of went wrong for Chubb sometimes, where people had a negative opinion of him just because he wasn't finishing the sacks. But if you really watch this play, the pressure he gets on Rodgers, it's not his fault he escapes the pocket here. I think the Dolphins defense definitely needs to do a better job of maintaining their rush lanes and not allowing more mobile QBs to escape and get this. But he also has this tight end and this tight alignment. He's in a wide 9 out here, and so he's getting basically slowed down here initially from the tight end. He does a really good job, swiping with 2 hands, and then still getting back on the outside path, attacking half of this man, winning, ripping underneath, and then bending, cornering, getting the quarterback, create this pressure. And Dolphins are in man-to-man here too, and they only have 4 guys rushing the passer. They have no one spying on the QB. They should need to do a better job not allowing these people to escape the pocket. And I really wouldn't blame Chubb too much on this play because the people in the middle got to be able to step up, hold their run lanes. But Chubb does a pretty good job there that people would try to blame him for that when he was the one who sort of created this pressure on a 3rd and 8 situation, broke things down in man-to-man. We got to create really early pressure against man-to-man, and then the rest of the team has to be able to come off the secondary rushers to make these types of plays. I felt like every rep was like this, where a tight end would come to his side or the running back to a chip. Chubb faced a lot of, pressure. It gave a lot of one-on-one opportunities for Phillips on the other side, but he still did a pretty good job creating pressure on this type of play. Knox slows him down. He has to initiate with Knox here, and he slows Knox down on his release, so he does, get a clean release off the line, and then uses that to build up speed to power right here. Momentum, you can see he has some power, get underneath, good leverage, force this left tackle back into Allen, and if Allen was going to hold on to it for, another half a second, he would have gotten this sack. But just pretty good job, still creating these pressures where and the ball ends up being overthrown because I think Allen has to get rid of it a little bit earlier than he wanted to. But even look where he is engaged here compared to the rest of the defensive line, and he's the one who's getting there first right there. It's pretty impressive stuff from Bradley Chubb. You got to understand the context of these situations to see why Chubb wasn't as productive as you would have liked. And I really like Chubb as a player. I think he's a really good player. I probably wouldn't have traded a first-round pick for him. I'm just not a big fan of trading first-round picks mid-season like that. I understand why the Dolphins did it. It's just, I even said at the time, I'm like, Chubb, really good player. I wouldn't have made the trade. But I think he has a chance to live up to it. He hasn't quite lived up to it yet. But I think under Fangio, he has a really good shot. I'd like to see more of this stuff from Chubb, where they work him on some twists, some stunts, where, Wilkins crashes down, takes all this attention, and then Chubb can just come right through right there. They did this a lot with Phillips. Chubb didn't get a lot of opportunities to do this as much as Phillips, and this is where Phillips created a ton of pressure. So Chubb wasn't really helped scheme-wise in getting a lot of his numbers either, whether it was pressure or sacks. It was just a lot of, him on the outside, rushing, usually versus 2-on-1, but then creating this type of opportunity where he can, work like that. He times it up well. Really good job by Wilkins as well, being this guy to take this around. He loops in between. He takes this guard away perfectly. He attacks inside, and then Chubb with the perfect timed loop like this. And if it wasn't the Chargers offense, he probably gets a sack, because the Chargers offense last year was just one step, get the ball out on some stick routes instantly. That's pretty much all they did. And Chubb does a really good job on this rep right here in a twist stunt situation. Really like this run defense rep here from Chubb. Most of the stuff I've been showing is pass rushing, but just want to get a little bit of his run defense. He's pretty solid here. He's nothing crazy or flashy. He just does his job, his responsibility. But on this rep right here, they're blocking down on this side of the line of scrimmage. These guys all block down, and they have the pullers coming his way, and they have, guard, tight end pulling to his side, and he sees both of them, and he sees they're tight, and he's staying square. He's ready to drop his shoulder into them, but he sees this opening right here to just split in between. He's not afraid of the tight end attacking his side like this, because he knows he's more powerful than this guy. If it was offensive lineman, he might have played it different, but the tight end getting to him first on a motion. I think he's actually a fullback, but same thing pretty much. But dropping underneath, splitting that double team, and then helping making this tackle for a minimal gain. I think only like 2 yards right there. Really impressive rep from Chubb from a mental standpoint, and just being a smart, very smart football player overall. This right here ends up being a Melvin Ingram sack, but it's really helped created by Bradley Chubb by creating some movement here. He gets a one-on-one with Trent Williams. First of all, Trent Williams, one of the best, if not the best left tackle in the NFL, and he only got really some one-on-one chances versus some of the best tackles in the NFL. But right here, he gets his one-on-one. You can just see he sort of, slow plays this. He does a really good job of mixing up his pace with his footwork too. Slow play and then just engage, and you see the power to force him back into Purdy right here where he can't step into this. So he spins out. Chubb also gets up just in case, take away that throwing lane if he does decide to throw it, and he just goes right into Ingram. So good job creating sacks. Just because they're the player not getting the sack doesn't mean they're out there not creating big play opportunities. I feel like Chubb did a lot of creating for this defense, and if he can take it to another level, like I've been saying, he's a huge X factor for this team. Right here's a Bradley Chubb sack, and it's not even like that impressiveness of a sack. This is why I think stats are pretty misleading from time to time. He just gets a sack from being unblocked here. Second and 13 situation, they're trying to run play action boot. He does a good job of staying disciplined here. He's just reading the flow of the offensive line and then seeing this fullback coming back towards him. So he knows if it's a running play, he's probably going to take on this fullback. He's going to take on use check, drop his shoulder into him, but he stays disciplined, reading, the mesh point just to see if Purdy's escaping to left here, and then he does, and then he closes very quickly. He's a better athlete than I think given credit for. You can see he's slowing it down and then instantly explodes upfield. He's got some pretty nice footwork right there too, and then gets the sack, but that would be one of his least impressive sack in my opinion. Not really getting a opportunity to rush versus an offensive tackle. That's why I think stats can always be a little misleading at time. Context is very important. That's why you go to the film like this. Big time play right there from Chubb. Overall, obviously on the stat sheet, but now I'm just rambling on. But yeah, solid stuff there from Bradley Chubb. Love the effort that Bradley Chubb plays with. They always do this. They give a wide receiver tight to his side so he's not able to win to the outside. They know how Chubb likes to win, so they're playing against his strength here, but he just doesn't really give up. He has to attack. He gets this left tackle has a really easy rep here with how he's engaged right here, but Chubb never gives up, takes this wide outside arc, not giving up on the play, and he gets lucky though that they create pressure up here because it forces Brissett to skip the pocket. He shows off some competitive toughness, some motor, some effort. This defense, I think one of the most impressive things they did last season was all play with high effort. I think like him, Phillips, Wilkins, players like Brandon Jones, they were all really high effort motor players, and I think that makes a difference, and it's something, you can't teach. It's just something you got, and I think these players got it. Chubb was getting active in this game. Honestly, the whole defensive front was getting active rushing Brissett in this game. They were getting sacks. If he was getting one-on-one opportunities, they were just exploding off the ball. They were not afraid to win. Like, you can see the explosiveness. Like, I think Ingram and Wilkins technically get the sack here, but he is right there with them at the point of attack. You can see him, use that inside hand right here, cross chop move. He does a really good job combining with his footwork and his hands here. So he hard steps to the inside, then get that hand to the outside, cross chop it down, and now you have the outside path right here. You force this offensive tackle to open up. You've created this separation, this space, and all you got to do is be able to corner and get to the quarterback, which he does. He does a really good job of staying low, just getting there at the point of attack, but they're all getting there at the same time. So he kind of runs into two offensive linemen right there, and they get the final sack. But another play where he's not on the stat sheet, but he does a really good job of creating that big time opportunity. Chubb does a good job of winning on this play, but he gets held right here from this offensive tackle. I think that's Jedrick Wills, and he was bullying him in this game. Like, look at him. Oh, this is a really nice rep too, because watch this. Look how he shoots out. This left tackle knows that he loves to attack this outside half of an offensive lineman, and he really shoots out of a stance like this, and he instantly counters to the inside. He's taking him off balance. He sees that he's overset. He's just reading, reacting quickly. He has that inside plan, and he's already opened up, gonna win this very easily, and he just gets held, thrown to the ground. He ends up kind of kicking Brissett there accidentally, but really impressive play there from Chubb. Nice to see that he can win in multiple different ways, especially when he identifies that they're trying to win to the outside, because Chubb loves to win on the outside half of the offensive lineman. 3rd and 20 situation. This is the last play that I'm going to break down. Just another rep where Chubb doesn't quite get the sack, but these are very, very high level plays because he wins so quickly. Like, he finally gets to face a backup left tackle, and it's 3rd and 20, so he's throwing it away very quickly, and he wins instantly to the outside. Attacks underneath. You can see he almost uses like a ghost move here, and he like works underneath. Like, the guy gets his hands to his face, but he like looks like he's going to work inside the chest here, and then dip underneath, get to the outside. Rip. He does a really good job of reducing his surface area, dipping those shoulders, and now he just has a free path to Brissett, and he wins so fast. Like, the ball has to come out so quickly. Doesn't get the sack, but Brissett basically is just throwing it away, which is pretty much the same thing on a 3rd and 20 situation. So understanding the context of these situations is very important. I think Bradley Chubb is a huge piece for this defense. Hopefully he can even if he becomes an elite defender, which he has at some point in his career, be very helpful for this defense. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.